years. Yep.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Bill and welcome to another episode of Umpteenth Time Hearing, where I'm pulling out these musical gems from my past and putting them out there for folks to hear, perhaps something new and different for them. Perhaps your first time hearing something that is my umpteenth time hearing, or first time hearing in decades, or something completely new. Certainly it's going to be something different, and something different from last week, something different from what will be coming next week. I won't tell you about next week, but of course last week was the haunting, extraordinary, powerful Jackie by Sinead O'Connor. And we're going to come back to this side of the pond over here in the States this time around and head out to the West Coast, to Berkley, California, where the 80s punk scene was thriving and much of it focused around 924 Gilman Street, or Gilman it was known. And starting up just about the same time as this club, founded at about the same time, is the seminal band out of that era, the Mr. T Experience. These guys were a big part of the Gilman Street scene, and that club, the nonprofit club and music venue, was a real influence on a lot of the revival of punk in the United States throughout the late 80s into the 90s. A lot of the other bands, for people who know that scene, Rancid, the Donnas came out of there. The one that's most well known to mainstream American audiences would be Green Day. And the Mr. T Experience, like Green Day, is on the lighter side of punk. I don't want to say that it's, strings and a cappella music by any means. But for me, myself, even when I was really more into this in the college years, I never got that much into the real hard thrash punk. It just didn't appeal to me. But like Green Day, the Mr. T Experience takes a lighter side to that, and that's sort of what caught my eye and my ear. And when I say caught my eye, I discovered them browsing through the stacks at the radio station, just pulling albums out of the shelves, and caught the name of the band caught my eye, the Mr. T Experience. What is that? And then, so those little stickers I mentioned that were on there from people who had done reviews of the album looked pretty good. And of course, the album title, this was their second LP. The title of the album was Night Shift at the Thrill Factory. That's what I confess, something just as simple as that caught my eye, put them on, really liked the sound. There's a lot of songs I could have picked up off of there. And the album title always stuck with me. I don't know if this is something they would appreciate or not, but every now and then, I try not to beat it to death like some people do with living the dream, but at a new job, especially if it's a known long shift on the weekend or whatever night of the week, and someone just greeting, hey, Bill, how's it going? I throw out the response, another night shift at the Thrill Factory. It's actually usually good for a chuckle, just as long as you don't beat it up too much. But anyway, this is going to be another video where I unfortunately don't have too much visually other than me, channeling my inner college youth and thrashing a bit to the music. I only have for for their end of it just the album cover. That's going to be an issue that comes up with this podcast, is that a lot of these obscure songs are not going to have music videos or live performances. I will find them where I can. And there is a video with a live performance of this song out there. But it was posted by Dr. Frank, who was, as he's known, Frank Portman is the lead singer and the only continuous member of the band that went through numerous changes over the years, and he was the one constant, kind of the, as Robert Smith is to The Cure, he was that to the MTX, as they're known. But so that's, it's his link, it's his posting. He has a lot of great links based on his, years of involvement with the band. So I don't want to encroach on his work. But I did post that link on the top pinned comments below, as well as always the lyrics and a few other links for you to check out. And speaking of that, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. There's the notifications bell, and certainly appreciate any likes you have. And give me your comments, whether you check what you think of this band, of the whole concept of this podcast, where I am just taking the idea of the first-time reaction videos and flipping it around so that it's my umpteenth time hearing. And what do you think of the variety of music I'm presenting for other people's first-time hearing? But for now, though, let's get right into it. This is the Mr. T Experience with Now We Are 21.
Way too much. 21, 21, 21. Now we are 21. Oh yeah. We try, but it's no use. Just lost our last excuse, and we'll be on the run. Now that we are 21, 21, 21. Now we are 21. Now we are 21. Now we are 21.
Oh yes, I still love banging around to that one now and then. And there's a number of other great songs on that album too. Velveeta, The History of the Concept of the Soul, What is Punk? And these are all songs from their second album, Night Shift at the Thrill Factory. They do have quite the discography now, 11 total releases, although they haven't been particularly active since 2005, with the exception of that 11th release. Since that time, the frontman, lead vocalist, founding member, and as I've said, only continuous member, Dr. Frank, he has been working, amongst other things, on a career as a novelist. His first book, King Dork, came out in 2006, and a number of years later, his third, which was a sequel, King Dork Approximately, was released in 2014. And so the band's 11th album, their only musical effort since 2005, came out a couple of years after that sequel novel. The album, 2016's King Dork Approximately, the album, cleverly titled. But interestingly enough, the way to get this album is you had to purchase Dr. Frank's novel, King Dork Approximately, and then use a link to the band's webpage with the code in there for a digital download of the album. Now, I get digital downloads and all, but I've never heard of an artist that required you to purchase something else in order to gain access to their musical output. And I've kind of developed a habit of putting out questions, just sort of general issues, to see what people might know that I'm not aware of. And I'm wondering if anyone else knows of any musical artist that's done that, where you had to buy a whatever that wasn't the album in order to get the album. Anyone else knows about any of those, please feel free to add it in the comments below. And do make use of those comments. Want to hear your feedback on the artist, on the concept of this program, where I'm just picking a bunch of random songs to see if it's your first time hearing, whatever you might have to say. And while you're down there, of course, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to click on that subscribe button. There's the notifications bell if you want to hear about upcoming episodes. I got a new one coming out each week. And certainly appreciate any likes. We really do, I really do, I should say, appreciate that. That's going to do it for this week's show, though. Next week, got something a little different. As always, not going to be playing the same kind of music 2 times in a row. And this one, in addition to being a softer sound, It really takes that male-female dynamic that you hear in vocals sometimes, be it the Pogues' Fairy Tale of New York, a lighter version with Meatloaf's Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, or Gautier's recent Somebody That I Used to Know. This one, though, takes it more, makes it less personal and a broader sort of issue of male perspective versus female perspective. And I don't want to give too much away, so you'll just have to stay tuned next week to see what that one's all about. And for now, though, as always, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Have yourself a great day. Bye now.